Hey, this is Siddharth Kota here, and I'm a guitar player based in Toronto. I often come across students that learn a solo, but when they improvise, none of the licks that they learn in that solo actually show up in their playing. And I was in the same place when I started out, and here are some of the things that I did to help me get the licks that I learned into my playing. Step 1 would be learning the lick inside out. I will be using this lick in A minor as example. We play 5, 6, 8, then we go up to the G string, play 5 on the G string and 7 on the D string. Then we slide up from 7 on G to 9 and slide back to the 7th fret. So the lick clearly outlines this A minor shape. It's all 16th notes, and here's what the lick sounds like in context. Once you have the lick, you should move the lick across all parts of the fretboard. This is what the lick would be, starting on this E. Then over here, I'm basically just starting the lick on different positions of the note E on the fretboard and playing the lick and getting it under my fingers. The next step would be moving the lick through different modes. So in this case, we are in A minor. This is what the original lick is. And I would just move it up the fretboard. For the next step, I would modify the rhythm used in the lick. You could play it using different subdivisions. You could play it as triplets, 8th notes, 16th note triplets, etc. Here's what some of those would sound like. Now, here's what the lick played as 8th notes would sound like. The next step would be displacing the lick. Originally, the lick starts on a downbeat, but you can start it at different places in the bar. Here's what the lick would sound like starting on the 1 and. Here's what the lick would sound like starting on the 1E. Also, it's not necessary that you play the lick in a uniform rhythm. It does not have to be all 16th notes. Instead of the lick being all 16th notes, you could do something like this. I'm just modifying the lick by stopping on one of the notes for a longer duration, and that completely changes the lick and leads to way more ideas. A quick plug, I also do one-on-one lessons, so if you'd want to study any topic in detail, feel free to email me. Finally, when you're done with all these steps, I would start plugging the lick over a backing track. You can plug the lick in two ways. You can either start off with the lick and lead into a different phrase, or you can start with a phrase that leads into the lick. Here's an example of starting off with the lick and leading into a different phrase. Now here's an example of starting with a phrase that leads into the lick. step, you can divide the lick into multiple different licks. There's no set rules for this, it's just how creative you can be with the lick. So here's two examples of how I would do it with this specific lick. This could be broken down into just this, or it could be broken down into, and you could use these fragments as cells into your improvisation. Here's all the steps combined, just freely improvising over the backing track. Here, obviously, I'm overusing the lick for demonstration purposes, but I hope that gives you an idea of how you can reuse a lick and get the lick into your vocabulary. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Please consider hitting the like and the subscribe button and supporting the channel. Also, please feel free to comment what topics you would like me to cover in the future.